We are live on the Virtual Grip Network for the Red Light Racing Skitter Creek SK Modifieds. And tonight, you got a substitute in the house. I'm Zach Chapman, a.k.a. Shaggy, along with my partner in crime, J.R. Shepard. We're lucky enough to have the heartbeat of VGN bringing us all the sights and sounds, the one and only Ryan Seneker. So nice. We got to race this bad boy twice as we head into the Five Flag Speedway for some twin 50-lap duels here in Pensacola, Florida. Normally when you think red light racing, you're thinking 100+ laps, but tonight, mentalities change. It's all about going fast, not worrying about using your stuff up on your way to the front. Now, that being said, JR, how important is this qualifying session that's currently underway? I think track position here in 250-lap races, I mean, that could be everything.
Yeah, I definitely think that track position is going to be important no matter where you go, but especially at a place like this. So Five Flags, this place that measures in at a half-mile in length and is one of the fastest short tracks that's on the surface. That's primarily due to the 15 degrees of banking it has through the corners. Now, the fastest way around this place tonight, it's going to be on that inside lane. But that outside lane, it can work also if you're in a side-by-side battle with someone. However, the one thing you're going to have to keep in mind is that this track, it has a lot of character in it, including several bumps. So if you're side-by-side with someone, it's going to be very easy to get loose and slide up into that outside car, especially if you carry too much speed across those bumps on corner entry. That's something that these drivers, they're going to have to stay aware of all night tonight and stay on top of it, especially if you're one of those drivers that's fighting for the championship. But Shaggy, this is one of the best tracks out there for exciting short track racing. I fully expect to see some tight side-by-side racing here in both of these twin 50-lap races.
Well, you know, let's break that down a little further, JR, here. Let's take a look at the points here, if you don't mind, Ryan. And, you know, I know some of these guys here from the Tour Modified series, actually, that we called on Tuesday. Some of these names look pretty familiar, but there are other guys, and two of the guys up top. Well, Eric Stout right now, big point lead. I mean, I assume, JR, he's been the big man on campus here this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Eric's been the guy for the last couple of seasons that everybody's kind of been chasing. So this year he's already got 4 wins. That's twice as many as anybody else in the service. But he has had some weaknesses. He has had some races where he's kind of gotten himself into a bad situation. Nothing that he did wrong, but took him out of contention to win those races. We talked about these twin 50-lap races here tonight. People are going to be driving hard. There's going to be no saving your tires or trying to take it easy for the end of the race. These drivers are going to be racing hard. So this is an opportunity for those drivers to kind of pounce on Eric if he does not get a good starting position here.
You know, shame on me, but I would assume here normal points awarded for both races here tonight, fellas. I mean, have we heard different? So looking at the battle for 5th through 9th, I mean, JR, 18 points. You could come into tonight 9th. And, you know, leave here in P5. I mean, they are so close. This could be interesting.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things I always loved about local short track racing when they had double points nights or twin races like this where the points were paid out twice. Because if you had good races, you could really capitalize on that moment. And when you got a driver like we just talked about, Eric Stout, that's really pulling away in the championship, you could really close that battle up. It only takes tonight to make it happen, but those other drivers, they're going to have to almost be perfect tonight to do that.
Yeah, and I don't want to fog your judgment here early. You know, we'll remind you again later, but at the end of this first 50-lapper, you're going to invert the top 10, I believe, here, JR. So if you have something happen to you early, I mean, how important is it to fight back, man, to get yourself inside that top 10?
It's absolutely vital to make sure that you're in the top 10 if you want a shot to make points that matter in the championship or if you want a shot to win here tonight. So these drivers definitely going to battle. It's also an interesting format because it gives drivers opportunities that don't always get to run up front, the opportunity in race number 2 to start up front and have an opportunity to run there and potentially win the race.
Well, the first here of the duels at the 5 Flag Speedway, set to get underway. Let's take a look. ACT.com starting lineup. Starting on the pole, the 60 of Brian Neff to the outside, Luke Logan Allen.
Rolling off in third place, we got our second place in points, Ethan Troutman. Outside in fourth place, Patrick Stout.
Row 3 to the inside, Eric Stout. To the top shelf, Fred Leclerc. And before we go on here, JR, is there a relation? Do we have a relation between those two?
Oh, they are brothers. Absolutely.
Oh man. Oh, man. Starting right behind each other. That could get interesting.
Rolling off inside of row 4, we got the 90 of Bill Benedict. Outside in the 13, Josh Buckley.
Rob Higgins rolls off to the inside of row 5. To the top shelf, the 21 of Aho Jeff.
Inside
I don't know why
of
I
row...
said that backwards. I was gonna.
Right.
I was thinking of what Soup called him. It was Aho, and I blew it. I blew it.
Inside of row 6, we got Brian Bianchi. Outside is Bradley Steffen.
Chad Alcaraz lines up on the inside of row 7. To the top shelf, Devin Visnall.
15th is Kevin Alicia. 16th place, Brandon Feeney.
Andy Lewis and Bruce Pearson make up row 9.
And the last row on the grid, we got Ken Allen in 19th, Mike Taschereau on 20th spot.
Taschereau, so glad you got that one and not me, because I'll tell you, Visnall got me. That can't be how it's pronounced. Or is that how
it is? It absolutely is. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man,
I got it right. I was right the first time.
Yeah, you talk about getting lucky there, JR. Here's some of those drivers might need some of that luck. Just have to go 50 laps. And, normally, JR, I'm all about being patient on the high side, but I think, I'll ask you more as we get underway as we're about to take the green flag. But I think if you're on that outside, man, you got to fight as the green flag waves. We're underway. Brian Neff with a great jump in that Winn-Dixie machine leads the way. And all of a sudden, Troutman here was shopping for P2, but look at Luke Allen, JR, big run off of 2.
Yeah, Luke Logan had a fantastic qualifying position, second place. He's a driver that can get the job done, tons of talent behind the wheel, and with the way this car is driving, super loose, I think you're going to have an aggressive driving style, and he's got that. It's going to work out good for him tonight.
Now, you're talking about the car super loose. I'm going to throw you under the bus here. You were talking to Ryan earlier, the man in the back, and you were saying, normally here's a side-by-side for the lead, and, well, maybe taking advantage of what you were telling Ryan. You were saying normally you got to lift a little bit here, but you were saying it's a light feather tonight. These race cars are flying.
They are absolutely flying. It's a great setup that they have underneath them. It's very, very similar to what you would have in real life, and I think we've got a caution out on the Speedway already. But yeah, and we see on our screen we got Chad Alcaraz and Brandon Feeney that have gotten involved in some type of action into turn 1 here. So we'll see what happened ultimately.
So Bradley Stefan is the start of this. He comes down over the nose of Chad Alcaraz here. And you can see, they're already wrecking up ahead. So it starts up ahead. And it looked like possibly Bradley Stefan there, maybe just got a little loose. Stefan here, maybe got a little loose, JR. What do you see? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I actually think that we've got some type of hardware failure there. Maybe a wheel failure, because when he comes off onto the straightaway, his car's pretty well going straight, and all of a sudden you see the tires just turn hard left, which is odd. He's not the driver that would do something like that on purpose. So we'll watch it here in slow motion. And you see he's cranking on the wheel. He's back and forth, sawing on it a little bit to keep that car underneath him. And yeah, you see it right there.
Oh, yeah, you can't rotate it that fast. You're right, Jared. No, that's the dead giveaway. That's unbelievable.
There's some type of a hardware steering failure that has occurred on him. So we'll have to get a follow-up on that. But the collisions that were caused by that is very typical of 5 Flags, because you have walls on the inside and the outside of this racetrack. So if somebody gets collected on the straightaway, it's going to be very difficult for anybody behind to get through unscathed. So a lot of drivers, I think, are going to have some damaged race cars, and a couple not even going to be able to continue in this race.
And, well, luckily for them, they hopefully brought some backup cars here for the next 50 lapper. But, man, the heartbreak here, this first one, you're going to lose a lot of much needed points. And I think we're going to get the one to go here this time as Drivers starting to double up here, and Luke Logan, I would think, obviously preferred spot here. Now, JR, not that you would want it, but some leagues do it. I forgot to ask you earlier. Do we get lane choice if the leader would want to go on the high side later?
Absolutely. Leader always gets lane choice here on both the initial start and restarts, but the difference is we only take off. We only go on the green flag, so it's not on the leader. So you got to really think about which lane you want based on that. We got to go on green.
As the green flag waves, Luke Logan, drops the hammer. Big run on the outside for the 26 machine of Ethan Troutman. But he sees it go away there in the center of the corner. But look at Luke Logan there. He gets a little loose. Center of the corner, gathers it back up. But JR, I mean, he's going to feel that if he gets some pressure. But right now, Brian Neff, his best friend here in the battle for second underway.
Yeah, absolutely. So Neff is a driver that'll absolutely attack. And yeah, almost 3 wide. I know Eric thought about doing that, but that is not something you want to do at this racetrack. I think more than anything, he's trying to give Neff a little bit of a scare so Neff makes a mistake here. But Neff is a driver that will attack a racetrack. And with the way the setup and this car is driving, that's what it's going to take to be up front here tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be one of those things, maybe not so. Oh, we got a car loose to the inside here. I believe Double B here, Bill Benedict, gets loose coming off a 4. He gathers it up. Don't see any damage, and that's going to be big for him here. He should be able to stay on the pace, but definitely going to need a caution now, JR. And I'm not saying we're going to get one, but, man, they are racing hard here in the middle of the pack.
It's going to be difficult not to have a few cautions tonight. Like I said, this car, it's on edge. This car is loose. You have to have a very smooth type of input with the steering wheel around here not to get it upset. That's one reason why I talked about Luke Logan being out front. He's a driver that can absolutely drive, number one, a loose race car, but he's always very smooth with what he's doing. So that's why he's out front. The problem's going to be with what we see here on screen when you get 2 drivers side by side. That's where it becomes a lot tougher because you're going to want to crank that wheel a little bit more. And when you crank it a little bit more, especially on corner entry with a loose car, that's when your car starts moving around and bobbling and eventually some contact is made. So this is where it's going to be really tight.
Now, I know this is normally a racetrack, JR, where we're not going to use much brake, but do you think with how hard they're driving this race car that by the end of the 50-lap stint here, we're going to be brake dragging a little bit, or is it all just letting off here the rest of the night?
Yeah, typically at a track like this, you would only use the brake to kind of set that nose on corner entry just very lightly or right through the center of the corner to help it rotate. This car is so loose, I don't think you're going to have to do either one. Now, as we get deeper
Battle
into
lead,
a run,
boys.
We might have to. Yeah, and absolutely. Brian Neff, he's taking a look to the inside here.
Yeah, that Winn-Dixie machine set him up through 3 and 4. And look at, oh, man, Eric Stout. That guy is hungry, JR, the point leader. I mean, that's how you get there. That's almost, if you remember in the old NASCAR days, when you could hit that intimidator button, man, scare the heck out of that guy in front of you. Now Eric, he gets a little tap. He gets sideways. Oh, caution flag flies here at the 5 Flag Speedway. Looked like he got away with it there, but there's got to be some damage there to Eric. Couldn't tell who paid the full price for that.
Yeah, definitely. Eric's probably going to have some damage here, but this is typical of 5 Flags. So if that car moves up, you'll see Eric Stout moved up slightly through 1 and 2 because he was kind of having to chase that car up the track. That allowed Patrick to get underneath him, and it's not intentional, but the cars come together because the car going up track is slowing down. The car on the bottom is still carrying momentum, even if they're lifting off the throttle, and that's where that contact is made. There's also probably a little bit of net code there, but I think ultimately contact was going to be made anyway, and it's unfortunate, but this is the type of thing that I kind of touched on in the opening. At 5 Flags, a lot can happen. It's very, very easy to get yourself into a bad situation, even when you're up toward the front.
Now, Eric Stout, you know, obviously, it depends where you're at on that scoring loop. But looky, JR. I mean, he's running P3, and currently it looks like Luke Logan out. Oh, he was bluffing. He bluffed there. I thought he was going to come down pit road. That would have been a shocker here in a 50 lap.
You might as well take a shot. I don't think anybody's going to pit unless they're back in the pack and, you know, they're just having a rough night anyway. They're going to try to get some tires to help out with some grip out there. But, yeah, you might as well take a shot. make that driver in front of you think that you're going to pit, and you never know. You might confuse them into doing that.
Yeah, and so can confirm there on Bradley. Saw he wrote in the iRacing chat. He apologized there, JR. His wheel went into Xbox mode somehow, so it disconnected from the computer, and that was exactly, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, hardware issue, hard steer to the left, and that tough break. Somebody else had, or a couple people had to pay the price, but that's just the way it goes in the virtual world sometimes.
Yeah, you know, that's in the iRacing world, that is comparable to having a mechanical failure in real life. So it's funny to think about. It's not funny when you're the driver that's having to deal with it, but this is the things that can happen with different updates. Things just don't align. You end up having a wheel software issue that creates the mess that we saw. But same thing as real life racing, you're going to have mechanical failures on night that you don't expect it.
As the green flag set the wave, we're back underway. Lap 16 at the Five Flag Speedway. Good jump for Luke Logan on the top side. Now, JR, Eric, I know these things are semi-durable, but that was some pretty serious contact. Do you think that 12 machine's healthy right now?
Well, as free as this car is, I'm almost wondering if it's knocked his toe out just slightly, and that actually tightens the car up, which might be an advantage. So we'll see how his car handles here in a little bit, but he's definitely able to keep it on the bottom of the track better than those drivers around him at the moment.
And here comes that 71 of Fred Leclerc, too, on the bottom here in that black and red machine. He is rolling, trying to move into that final podium spot. Right now, if you're on the outside, if you're Luke Logan, I mean, you almost gotta make that guy uncomfortable, don't you, JR? You gotta pinch him down a little bit, try to force your way in line.
You're going to have to be aggressive.
There he goes.
Yep, and he's able to get there. You're going to have to be aggressive. That's what we're seeing out of Ethan Troutman, too, out here. He's trying to do everything he can to fight, because you see that entire line of cars. They're lined up on the bottom. There's nowhere for him to go. Now, I talked about that outside line can work in a side-by-side situation, but that's usually early on when the tires are still cool after a start or restart. After you get about 5-6 laps on those tires, that's when that car starts to not handle well enough to maintain that outside position.
First battle on the track there. You're watching it. The Yankee trying to take a peek under Troutman here. He's got the position for the time being, but it's one of those things where you're going to have to see Troutman now. He may have to get aggressive here, try to force his way in line, or he's going to lose another one here to Buckley. Is Josh sawing away on the inside? Josh Buckley going to click him off here, and Josh feeling himself. Oh, I thought he was going to go for a big send there, try to stick it under Bianchi, but couldn't make it stick.
Yeah, it's just not working right now, and this is the worst case situation for Ethan that he could possibly have, because he came in here second place in points. He was hoping to have a good night. Oh, yeah, we see up front Fred Leclerc working over Luke Logan. Now, Luke's one of the few drivers I've seen be able to make that outside work for multiple laps, so he's got a good feel for it. He has an opportunity, but Fred really wants that third spot. Yeah,
when you go up and knock on the side of their door, though, that's it's tough to make that outside work as they make a little contact one more time. And boy, oh boy, they're using every inch of the asphalt here through 3 and 4. And what it's doing is it's allowing Brian Neff and Eric Stout to kind of run their own crew here. And I wouldn't be surprised before too long. Eric Stout tries to make the move here as the 71. Not going to get the pass done on Luke Logan. And now we see Visnall working the outside here. You think maybe it's that time? Oh, look, he's going to lose it.
Yeah, he's going around. He touched the apron. We got a big pile up coming out of turn 4. But, yeah, he touched the apron just a little bit in the center of 3 and 4. And as loose as this race car is, if you touch that apron, the rear end is going to kick around fast. So that's ultimately what started this. And like we talked about earlier, it's just very difficult to avoid when you see a car turned in front of you at this racetrack. There's not a whole lot of room to avoid it.
Yeah, no, that may have just been what Brian Neff needed, too, because there was a battle going on up at the lead right as this happens. You can see exactly like JR said, goes down there, clips away, and Yankee, he gets a piece of it. He's got to lock it up, gets tagged again, man. Boy, JR, we're going to see a lot of cars, I'd imagine, make a stop down pit road, and we're only at the halfway point right now. 25 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We may only finish with 10 cars on track. We talked about that invert for race number 2. There's a lot of cars that were damaged badly in that wreck, and there's just no way to avoid it. Number one, the track's narrow with the walls on the inside and the outside, but you're carrying so much speed with the way this setup is here, you cannot just stop. I know it's difficult for someone watching at home to understand that hasn't done this, but these cars don't just stop. You're carrying a lot of speed around here, and that's what led to so many drivers being involved in that.
And obviously different level, but I mean, think about what you see on Sundays at Daytona, where, you know, they'll have those big ones, and obviously you're going a lot faster, but there's just nowhere to go. If you slam on the brakes, JR, you know as well as I do, then you're going to get collected from behind. So you have to be responsible about it. Try to maybe weave a little bit, let the guy behind you see what's going on. But you mentioned that inside wall. I mean, there's just no room. You're really at the mercy of the gods here when there's a wreck in front of you.
Absolutely, and the other thing, I've touched on it multiple times this season, but inside these SK Modifieds, it's very difficult to see in general because of that air cleaner that's up ahead of you, the positioning of the A-post, and that gets worse with track banking, which we do have here. So the visibility up ahead of you is very, very minimal when you're in the corners.
Green flag set the wave. We're back underway. Brian Neff drops the hammer. Good restart. Luke Logan trying to follow the man here, move himself back up into P2. Remember, JR, he got stuck on the outside. All of a sudden, battle for the lead. He got a shot out of a cannon coming out of 2.
Yeah, that was textbook by Luke Logan there, being able to do that move coming out of 2. He was able to keep his car low right now. We see Neff struggling, and I think Eric Stout just went around in turn 1. He must have kept going because we are not under caution. But he did get turned sideways. So, yeah, he's fallen all the way through this field. He's at the back of the pack right now.
Yeah, point leader definitely got a little tap there on the left rear, as I think we're going to get a look at it here. I believe the 23 may drive in here a little deep. As you see, he had to check up to go to the outside, and the 23 just didn't get the memo. But all of a sudden, JR, if this thing goes caution-free, Eric Stout, P13, he's not going to get that invert.
He's not, and guess who's back up front? Ethan Troutman is now moving inside the top 5. We saw him dropping like a rock on that last bit of run. He's now up into 4th. That is big, big news for his championship hopes.
Yeah, he's going to have to go quick here. Going to have to work on Rob Higgins here for the 3rd and final podium spot. Rob Higgins started 9th, up to 3rd. Bianchi just up the road there, started 11th, up to 2nd. But the big mover right now, Ken Allen, started dead last on the field, rolling P7 at the moment. No, boy. They were 3, almost 4 wide there, coming off of 4. Holy crap, JR. Pull those belts tight, brother.
That's what's exciting about this race format. It's only 50 laps. We typically see drivers being a little bit calm at periods of the race. There's no time to be calm here tonight. This is a short track, and there's only 50 laps. We've got to go hard and get every position we can, and that's producing the racing that we are seeing here. But some of that action has kind of broken this pack up. We're starting to see some gaps.
Yeah, we are, and we're starting to see lap traffic here in front of the leader. This could make this battle for the lead interesting, as we're looking, nope, going to get to the high side out of the way. But Bianchi still able to close in, JR. I don't know, man. We're running out of time, 15 to go. Do you want that track position, or do you want to be the guy reeling him in right now? Look at them racing hard. Oh, the 48 machine of Andrew Lewis and Ken Allen. Boy, oh boy.
Some really tight racing by these two, and yeah, everybody's going right now. I don't think anybody's trying to be patient or save anything. If you have an opportunity to try to pass somebody, you're going to take it, and that's exactly what we're seeing while we're riding on board. We see Brian back there in the 14. He keeps getting these small little runs looking to the inside. So far, he's not been able to get a big enough run to try to make that pass. Luke Logan's doing everything he can right now to just hang on to that car, not to get loose.
Now, if you're Rob Higgins, do you let those guys start fighting, JR, and then you maybe make it 3 wide like we've seen a couple guys try to do? I mean, how do you play that? Because realistically, running out of time, I mean, oh, Bianchi, though, he may give it up. He hits the apron, slides up the racetrack. Oh, and he comes back down and shuts the door on Rob there. Boy, oh boy, Bianchi, he is fighting that race car right now.
Yeah, Brian wants to get back into running up front. He's had some great runs this season, not been able to be in all of the races, but yeah, he wants to go back into victory lane once again. Rob Higgins, though, that we're riding on board with, he's extremely hungry. He's had some really rough races this season, so if he has an opportunity to make a pass, he's going to do it, but right now, he's got Ethan Troutman trying to make a pass on him.
Yeah, he's working the bottom here, Troutman. What can he do here with those guys up front? Not a lot of time as we roll through 3 and 4, 8 laps to go. I mean, this is going to go quick. And right now, like I say, Eric Stout, your point leader, still 13th. Man, could this really shake it up here when Soup comes back next week? He may wonder, if he maybe teleported out of here. What happened to him?
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, this is how quickly racing can change on a short track, and we're not done. I mean, there's 7 laps here. We could have something big happen that shakes things up even further, but Eric Stout was so fast and was in such a great position early. After some of these cautions, he now finds himself outside of that invert position. He's outside of the top 10, so he's going to have to come from midfield in race number 2, and Ethan Troutman, he's making up a ton of ground running in 3rd.
Now, Luke Logan right now, you saw that, JR. He missed the mark a little bit through 1 and 2. He ran that middle high line. Bianchi able to get a full car length lower, and you got to wonder, I mean, he is setting them up here. Look at that high entry, going to try to arc low. Battle's going to be on here, JR. 4 laps to go.
Oh, yeah, it's very tight through 1 and 2. They were respectful. They ultimately gave each other room, but Brian has got that run on the inside. It's going to be interesting to see what Luke Logan is going to do here. He's going to continue to fight on the outside, and he's been one of the few drivers to make that outside work, so he still has an opportunity here.
Brian working the inside here. Luke up top as they're side by side. Ethan Troutman trying to snooker himself up into P2. 2 laps to play at the 5 Flag Speedway.
Yeah, and this is going to be hard for Luke at this point. He's got the lead lost, and now he's got Ethan on the inside as well, and his car is going to continue to handle worse the longer he's out there. He's trying to do the over-under on Ethan, but he's not going to get there. Troutman's now in 2nd place.
Well, only 1 flag to go here, JR. We're going the rest of the way. Final time down the backstretch as Bianchi rolls the bottom. Got to protect. Troutman trying to hook it up, but he can't do it. Checkered flag waves. Bianchi brings home the first of your twin 50s here at the 5 Flag Speedway. Troutman 2nd, and Luke Logan Allen rounds out that podium. JR, we had a lot of excitement there in the beginning, but I'll tell you what, man, they got it together. And those last 25 laps, man, I was out of breath the whole time. What exciting racing.
Yeah, absolutely. These drivers, they put on a great show, and it shows how much talent I think that is in this league, because we saw some hiccups early on, but ultimately they all figured it out. And I can tell you this is not an easy car to drive with the way that this setup is and as slick as this racetrack is tonight. These drivers, they figured it out, and they put on a great show, especially there at the end.
Now, obviously, Ryan should know better than, me remember what's going on here. Are we going to a quick break here? Okay, so we are going to do a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we're going to interview the top 3 and we'll do a final rundown of that first Twin 50. So stick around here on the Virtual Grip Network and we'll be back for more. We are back live on the Virtual Grip Network, and I'm telling you, if you missed out on that first one, you better get what you need here. You got 7 minutes, and man, that first 50 laps, JR. I know we talked a little bit about it before we went to the break, but I'm impressed with how they made these cars run that hard. I mean, 25 laps in a row, didn't overheat them. They behaved, good hard battling for the lead. You don't see that many times.
No, you really don't. And I touched on the talent that's in this league. There is a lot of talent here. And the thing that I like about this format, once again, is that it gives drivers opportunities that don't normally have the opportunity to contend for a win or run up front. A lot of times we're running, like you said, the 100-plus lap races. So you got to really take care of your stuff and be strategic about what you do. But here, you can run hard. And we kind of got a mixed up running order in the race number 1 because of that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that finishing order from race number 1. Brian Bianchi bringing home the checkered flag. Ethan Troutman, P2. Luke Logan Allen, 3rd. Rob Higgins, 4th. And double B, Bill Benedict, rounds out the top 5. Fred Leclerc, 6th. Brian Neff, 7th. Andrew Lewis, 8th. Bruce Pearson, 9th. And then Ken Allen, you know that all too well, JR. Going to start on the pole now. That may be good here for Ken Allen.
That is huge. Absolutely.
There we go. You want to take the rest here, JR?
Yeah, I'll get the rest. So coming home in 11th place here in race number 1, we got Patrick Stout. Eric Stout, the point leader, he'll come home in 12th. We saw that incident that he had, recovered from it, then had a bad restart deal occur, and some contact made that sent him back there. Devin Visnaw, he'll come home in 13th. Josh Buckley, the first car that was a lap down in this race, he'll be 14th place. Brandon Feeney comes home in 15th. Mike Tasharu, he'll come home in 16th. Kevin Alicia will be 17th. Chad Alcaraz, he'll come home in 18th. Jeff Aho comes home in 19th. And we see Bradley Steffen there in 20th. He's the one that had the wheel issue in that race.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left here. I think I'm pretty close on that. Let's go ahead. Let's talk to a 3rd place finisher here, Luke Logan Allen. Luke, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Copy. I got a copy.
Well, hey, heck of a run there. I mean, obviously you got stuck on the outside. You fought your way back to the front, but it just seemed at the end about those last 10 or so laps, you just couldn't get it on the bottom of the racetrack anymore. It was too much of that right front tire gone towards the end.
Yes, and I think not letting off a little bit when the tires were worn out a little bit definitely hurt my...
Now, obviously, Luke, here, when we go into the next one, you're not going to get to start up where you did. You got to start back there. What are we going to say here? 8th, I believe. So you're going to have to work yourself through the pack. I mean, how are we going to do that? 50 laps, not a lot of time.
Don't get involved in wrecks and just hope the sea's pardon for me.
Smart kid. Well, hey, heck of a run, Luke. Congratulations on the P3, man. You got anybody you want to thank?
Nope, not particularly.
Well, hey, thank yourself, man. You drove yourself to a P3. Good run, kid. Hopefully we're talking to you after the next one.
Hopefully.
Luke Logan Allen. I had no idea I could be his kid. You guys could have told me that. I mean, that kid dominates me on the racetrack. Wow, oh, wow. JR, you got P2. You got...
Absolutely. Got Ethan Troutman. Hey, Ethan, congratulations, man. Big run coming home in 2nd place, especially with Eric having a bad race number 1. What's the strategy going into race number 2 here? You're starting ahead of him once again, even with that invert.
Yeah, there was a few eventful moments in that one, but I was able to keep it clean. Of course, finishing second's great. It's picked up, 10 points or so on Eric. Needs more than that to really get back in the hunt, but step in the right direction. Another lap. I'd like to have had a chance to race Brian for the win there. But, yeah, I had a few unlucky restarts on the outside, and I was afraid I was going to get stuck out there. But once things started going, I was able to get the car turning on the bottom and making some spots back up.
Absolutely. It looked like the outside, especially toward the end of the race, was a little tricky. Give us some insight into how this car is handling, and if there's anything you think you need to do different in race number 2 to finally get that win, move up one more spot.
Yeah, I think handling wise, if I'm going to learn anything else, it might be a little too late. But on fresh tires, when we get going, it's pretty loose, especially on the bottom. You're trying to stay in the gas, back end will come around on you. And once we got going there, it seemed like being behind somebody really tightened you up in the corner. There was a little draft effect down the straights, but if you're up behind somebody on entry, it wanted to push up. So kind of got to work on maybe staying offset a little bit and protecting the bottom, because if you let somebody stick their nose in there, you might lose, who knows how many spots.
All right, Ethan. Hey, man, we'll let you get back out there. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you after race number 2, man.
Thanks. Yeah, well, that's the plan.
All right, guys. As Ethan Troutman, second place in points, second place in race number 1 there. Zach, who you got?
Yeah, somebody who I've talked to on Tuesday night before, Brian Bianchi. Congratulations, man. 11th to 1st. How are we feeling after that one?
Hey guys, that was pretty good, wasn't it? I really have struggled here in the past, and that one felt good.
Obviously, I mentioned there 11th to 1st. Now you're thinking invert. You only got to start 10th. I mean, that's one spot better. How quick can we get back to the front here, Brian? You obviously, man, you got something in that hot rod tonight.
Yeah, fast car, so I think we can get back up. I'm going to take my time just like I did that last race and fight it out at the end. I got to tell you, that kid Lemon Lime, he's really getting fast, so I'll have to get by him again.
Yeah, and I saw you set up that pass through 3 and 4 beautifully, man. You enter high, kind of arc down low. Do you think that's going to be the medicine here tonight? Or do you think if you needed to, you could sling that thing around the outside and get it done?
I think if somebody's struggling on the bottom a little loose, you can get around the outside. But if somebody's good, you can't. You got to go underneath and kind of do that slingshot move. You got to have tires left at the end. So we'll go up and see what we can do.
Well, hey, you're about ready to get in that car and grid up, man. I think you got like 15 seconds. So before you get out of here, you got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, Culpeper's Bakery and Cafe, Colony Tire, Christina's Custom Cuts, Fleming Electric. Zeno's Luxury Jackets, just everybody's helped me out through the years.
Hey, go for the double here, Brian. Go get it done, man. We'll root for you.
Thanks, guys.
And Bianchi bringing home the first win here of the night. And, I kind of slept on him starting 11th there, JR, till I looked at that interview with him. I mean, 11th to 1st. I can't bet on him to not do it again, right?
No, absolutely right. He knows how to get passes done, and that experience from race number 1 is going to be invaluable here in race number 2. He knows exactly how hard he can push and when to do it.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that race day CT.com starting grid one more time. Row 1, starting on the pole, Ken Allen to the outside, the double deuce, Bruce Pearson.
Inside row 2, we got the 48 of Andrew Lewis, and the outside, that 60 car, Brian Neff.
Fred Leclerc to the inside of row 3 to the top shelf, double B, Bill Benedict. Ugh.
Rolling off in 7th place, got Rob Higgins. He challenged for the lead and late in the last race. 8th place, Luke Logan Allen.
Top 2 finishers from event number 1. Ethan Troutman to the inside, Brian Bianchi. They make up row 5.
Inside row 6, we got Patrick Stoughton on the outside. In 12th place, we got Eric Stout.
Little brotherly love there, row 6. Row 7 to the inside, Devin Visnaw to the top shelf, Josh Buckley.
Rolling off in 15th place, we got Brandon Feeney on the outside, and 16th, Mike Tasherud.
Kevin Alicia to the inside of row 9 to the top shelf, Chad Alcaraz.
And last row on the field, inside, we got Jeff Aho starting 19th, outside in 20th place, Bradley Steffen.
Well, obviously, just real quick again, we saw starting position. I thought it would mean a lot more, but Bianchi, hey, he drove up to the front, but I got to think now Ken Allen, due to some unfortunate events, finds himself at the first race in P10. You got to think that's going to be a tough guy to run down with, maybe a little slower pace cars in between. We'll have to see as we roll through 3 and 4 the final times. Pace car pulls off the racing surface. Green flag waves. 50 laps to play at the 5 Flag Speedway.
Yeah, you see the 48, Andy Lewis, he got a good jump there. The 22 Bruce Pearson just did not quite get going. Fred Leclerc, he's already trying to mix it up and go for second place.
Yeah, and we saw that 71 up there battling earlier as well in the first one, but clipped the inside apron, and now Fred wants to take advantage of these good tires, and boy, oh boy, Leclerc gets a little loose there on the bottom out of 2, but he drops that throttle. We got a car spinning to the inside going down the backstretch. No caution flag. We continue as, who had it at the line? I think Leclerc.
Oh, and they're getting into each other in 1 and 2. They go up the track. They're going to be able to save it, but that harms Ken Allen and Fred Leclerc, and they're going to go around in turn 3.
Well, so nice he bumped him twice there. I'm not too sure if maybe we missed something or if possibly Fred Leclerc just overdrove that race car here. Back-to-back corners, but I'll tell you what, the Winn-Dixie machine of Brian Neff, he's not going to ask any questions. He's your new leader. There you see the first contact. Brings it back down, and then, oh, okay, a little contact there on the inside. I didn't see that.
Yeah, they were 3 wide going in. I think Fred, he was still trying to gather things up as well. And once you get loose, it does take grip away from that rear end. You're going to be free on that next corner entry as well. And, yeah, he just had to avoid that inside car. And in doing so, unfortunately, Ken Allen was out there.
Yeah, without that, seeing that contact on the inside, you know what that looked like.
Yeah.
I thought he was, thanking him for racing him so well out there. But you can see, contact there to the left front. It straightens the wheel out from there, like you mentioned. He was just on a slip and slide. So tires temp not there. It's just you're not going to have the grip, and that's a tough break. But it's allowing guys like Andrew Lewis maybe reset here, but I don't know, JR, as we get ready to get going, the outside has not been the place to be. So, if you're second, fourth, I don't think you're rooting for any cautions here tonight.
It's getting worse as the race goes on. This track condition, it carries over from race number 1, so it's where we left off at the end of race number 1. And as the rubber's building up, as we're getting some marbles and some loose rubber on that higher side of the track, the outside's continuing to lose just a little bit of grip. Now, I still think you can make that work in the opening laps, but you've got to fight hard. If you don't get that pass done, you're going to get freight trained by everybody on the inside.
Now, I was wondering why Brian Bianchi was so far back. And if you remember, JR, I said what car got loose, went to the inside. It was Brian Bianchi. Do they get a quick repair in here, JR?
They do not get a fast repair in this league. We do have a set of extra tires in the pits, but no fast repair.
Okay, because, he went down pit road. I imagine there's a pretty big hit there for Bianchi. So I don't know if we're going to get the double here as the pace car pulls off. About to be back underway. Brian Neff drops the hammer. Lap 8 at the 5 Flag Speedway. And right away, battle for second. Not much of one here. For third.
Now, Brian Neff, he was able to pull away. Andy Lewis got in there as well. Now we got Rob Higgins trying to challenge Ethan Troutman. Now, Ethan, he had to start back in 9th. He's up here in 4th place trying to get 3rd. He's moving forward while Eric Stout still hasn't made a lot of progress right now.
Now, JR, obviously, we're not rooting for him here, but it's just a lot of cars, tight pack racing going fast. Probably going to have some cautions. And if you're Brian Neff, how much is that on the forefront of your mind right now? Because it seems like he's pulling away a little bit. And I don't know if you want to burn off all you got.
You definitely don't want to burn it all off. We saw that come into play at the end of race number 1. But I definitely think you want to get yourself close to a half-second lead if possible, because you don't want anybody putting pressure on you from behind or potentially making some contact with you. But once you get that lead like we see Neff, you need to back off and save your stuff.
Bruce Pearson got around Troutman, and as soon as he did, Troutman tried to go for the over-under, but Bruce shut the door as the battle continues behind Luke Logan Allen. I meant what I said, too, in that interview. How could you guys not warn me that kid is as young as he is? The way he handles a race car, how? That's amazing. My jaw almost hit the floor.
Oh, he's super talented. I've heard too many stories about him, and I've seen him race in this league for the last couple of seasons. He has a ton of talent. last season, he actually had a little bit of problem harnessing that talent, but this season made huge progress, and he's only going to get better. It's only going to get worse with competition.
No, and you got to wonder how much of that, too, was, the new tire wear update. Having debris and stuff like that on the track, maybe not being able to whip it around like he used to, but man, you can see clearly the kid, not much of a learning curve here as we got another battle on the racetrack. Double B trying to look under Rob Higgins here, and the double deuce Bruce Pearson, he may join the party here. Look at Bruce working to the inside.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about. You get trapped on that outside. The outside line seems like it continues to go away. And you can see on our screenshots here, occasionally you'll see some of that rubber bouncing off the racetrack. So these tires, they are wearing and they are creating what we call marbles. That's little chunks of rubber that come off the tire and go to that higher line. And if you get anywhere near that higher line, touch those marbles with your tires, you're going to lose a lot of grip. And that's why we're continuing to see that outside line not work as well. Now, if we get a lot of cars up there and clean that line off, it could get better.
Yeah, and if you think we're lying to you, rewind this right now. You'll see the track has darkened since that first set. And, I mean, it's set, JR, that I think track session starts at 20%, and it's carryover all night. So, including practice, I mean, they put a lot of rubber on this racetrack tonight.
Yeah, they absolutely had. And, we talked about it affecting the outside line, but don't get me wrong, that inside line is going to be affected as well as far as the handling of the race car. So these drivers will have to adjust. So just because you ran well in race number 1 doesn't mean you're going to in race number 2 unless you're able to adjust your driving style and account for that.
Or are we going to have a 3 wide here? I don't know if this is going to work, boys. Man, how did Luke survive that?
That's a lot of talent, and Luke was on the worst end there. He was in the middle, so he's kind of along for the ride. So he did a fantastic job of avoiding contact. Aggressive move there by Eric to try to get inside.
And, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. We saw Eric making those aggressive moves early, but a 3 wide ended up spinning him to the back. So you got to wonder, risk was worth the reward right there, JR, but, man, it's not always going to pay off like that.
It's not, but that just kind of leads me to think that it's becoming tougher to make passes where track position is being more and more important as we go. And I think Eric knows early in this race, we're almost at halfway. He's not made up a ton of ground. He's got to go.
And the battle's starting to heat up here for P2. As you can see, Andrew Lewis, JR, he's running that middle line going down the straightaways. That tells me he's being defensive. He doesn't want anybody to get underneath him, and that doesn't always promote the best speed here when you're driving defensive.
No, it doesn't. It's going to take speed away from you, absolutely, especially on corner exits. So that driver behind you can get a good enough run. It doesn't matter if you run in the middle or not. He's going to be able to get to your inside down the straightaway. And Fred Leclerc, to see a little bit of contact there. Andy Lewis able to hang on to us with some great driving right there. But this is exactly what Brian Neff, the leader of the race, wants to see. He wants to see these two guys going at it, and they're going at it pretty hard.
Yeah, now obviously if you're the 71, oh boy, Freddie, man, he's able to hang on to that one, but now he's got a double B on the inside. Bill Benedict working to his inside. And oh man, you know, if you're the 71 there, Leclerc, you got to be frustrated, but at the same time, that's short track racing. I mean, you got to find a way around that guy in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that even reiterates the point further that it's becoming harder and harder to make passes. So, I mean, drivers, they're starting to really throw some maneuvers out there. We're seeing some blocking down the straightaways. And like you said, the guy that's trying to overtake's got to find a way to get it done. So I'm afraid that those drivers, they're going to have to find a way to make that outside line work in order to get some passes done, because if a driver's blocking all the way down the straightaway, you're not going to be able to go to the inside.
Just like that, JR, we are 3/4 of the way, or 3/5 of the way through this thing, 20 to go. I mean, this thing is absolutely clicked away, and you got to think at this pace, Brian Neff, he's got to be feeling pretty comfortable out front. I mean, biggest battle, or the earliest battle on track is for that 4th position. We're watching it right now. Leclerc trying to get back there into P3, but man, just I can't reiterate enough. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but how JR said, I mean, how this track is rubbered up. It is just guys are struggling to pass right now. You need that guy in front of you to really have a hiccup.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And the thing with that is occasionally you will have that driver in front of you have a hiccup, but you've got to be in a position to capitalize on it. It's so easy for yourself to make a mistake and get behind, and that's exactly when that driver in front of you makes a mistake and you're not able to capitalize on it. So you got to stay in that game each and every lap and be prepared for anything that happens.
I've always wondered, JR, and obviously Bruce, he's giving him a little bit of room here, but do you think being the points leader, I personally don't like it, but do you think it gives you an advantage? Maybe guys get out of your way, or do you think guys, tend to make you want to earn it a little bit more? I tend to lean that side. I like to make that point leader earn it getting by me. I like to see where I rank.
Yeah, I think it's both ways in the same race. So I think sometimes when you get closer to the front, the drivers that are typically running up front, they tend to give the drivers higher up in points a little more room, I think. But when you get back in the pack, like we've had Eric in this race here, I think those drivers, they don't really care because they're out to get the best finish possible for themselves. They're not too worried about points. They're trying to get that best position. So I think they're going to race him a little bit hard back there, and that's why he's not been able to make the progress that we're accustomed to him making in the race. We see Bill Benedict going to the inside of second place here.
Yeah, Double B going full send there into 3. He said, you're not going to shut the door on me. Side by side, 12 to play. And you got to think, with the way we've seen that 48 struggling here, well, I was going to say maybe we'd see an easy pass, but looky, I mean, Andrew Lewis, he is fighting back on the top shelf.
He's fighting hard, and I see the car a little bit tight. You know, we talked about how loose this thing's been. It looks like it's starting to get a little bit tight, and we've got a caution out on the speedway here.
Patrick Stout sideways on the front stretch here as he just clips that apron, I think, JR. Talk us through this.
Yeah, we see him turn into turn 3, and yeah, absolutely. It's very hard to tell from the broadcast because there's not a painted line right where he touched it. Oh, and we see Ken Allen get involved in the aftermath there, so Ken Allen continuing to have a bad night. But when he goes into the corner here, right here, we start to see that light color. He's on the apron right there. And that is when the car starts to come around. And once it comes around, you're not going to save it in one of these SK modifieds at a track like this. So he did everything he could to not overcorrect it, but ultimately come back up into traffic. And there you see Ken Allen just not being able to avoid. And the Ken Allen deal is back to not having good visibility inside the race car. You got that big air cleaner, you've got your A post, and you're going through the corner. You don't see that car sitting in the middle of the racetrack until you come onto the straightaway, and by that time you have no time to react.
Now within 10 to go here, JR, do we go single file or do we still double file here even within 10 to go?
Oh, we double up, and the fun thing about this league is that we do have the opportunity for 3 green-white checkered attempts.
They need them.
And we have gone into double overtime before. So it can get exciting here. This league is kind of known for if we get some late cautions, we continue to get more cautions. So we'll see how it battles out here. We do have some drivers of interesting note to watch on this restart. Ethan Troutman, he's back in 5th place. Eric Stout's now up to 7th. So those 2 drivers fighting each other for 1st and 2nd points. They'll be nose to tail on this restart.
Yeah, those were, you took the words right out of my mouth. If we're going double file, those were who I was focused on because, I mean, let's be honest, JR, they have a good start here, knock off 1 or 2 each. We get another caution here in 3, maybe 2, 4 laps, somewhere in there. I mean, they're right there in a green-white checker. They need everything to fall. I don't think they can get to the front here if we stay green, but I got to be honest with you. I don't plan on it staying green.
No, absolutely. You're going to have to fight hard here, and that's what we're going to see. It'll be very interesting as the pace car ducks off who gets the advantage on this restart.
Well, the green flag waves, 6 laps to play at the 5 flag speedway. Good jump for Brian Neff, and he has got a rear bumper full of Bill Benedict. Is Bill trying to roll that bottom here, but Andrew Lewis, he's fighting back on the high side. Oh, I thought we were going to have a 3 wide. We may still.
Oh, they're trying hard to make some contact here. You see Bill Benedict getting loose, Fred Leclerc getting into him, and Troutman having to check up. Luke Logan going around on the apron, and the caution comes out.
Now Bill Benedict and Leclerc, that was a close call, and you got to wonder, I haven't gotten to see a look at the actual caution yet. I couldn't find it. Did that checkup in front possibly scare these guys into making a little contact?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there are a couple wrecks there. If you saw Luke Logan Allen there, he gets turned, and we had a car ride the fence there, I think.
Yeah, there was multiple deals going on. This is probably the one that ultimately brought it out, but Luke Logan, he gets turned because he saw what was going on, checked up a little bit, and the drivers behind didn't. I believe that's Chad Alcaraz that went for the ride there. His night's definitely done. Huge damage to that 17 car. And then Patrick Stout back behind that was also involved in a checkup issue. I've talked about it many times this season. It's so difficult when you're right behind a car to see what's happening ahead of that car. So when the car ahead of you checks up, you're not able to because you have no idea what's going on. And that's what's creating a lot of these checkup wrecks that we see.
And that Duncan machine, that was a wild ride. Tough break there for Alcaraz. Got to think, JR. I mean, luckily that wall was there. Or that fence, I should say, or he was going up and over. I mean, you don't expect to have that hard of a right hit in that thing. And with no quick repairs, I mean, there's no chance he is coming back.
Yeah, there's no chance. And it's a really, really tough night for Chad Alcaraz. He's won multiple races this season, not been super consistent. Had a lot of bad luck, and tonight was another another time for that bad luck to creep up because, yeah, it looks like he finished 18th in race number 1. Currently, he's in 19th place after that, and he may drop all the way back to 20th depending on what happens with that last car. So, very tough night for him, uncharacteristic.
We saw a little brotherly love there between Fred Leclerc and Bill Benedict before the caution flag came. Do we expect it to stop here, JR? I mean, Leclerc being on the bottom, with the way he's driving that race car, I expect him to be one of the most aggressive cars on the racetrack right now. I mean, he can smell that lead. He's so close.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you want to be up front, to be honest with you. This could be really bad. If there's any contact in those first couple of rows, we could have a very big accident here.
Well, green flag waves were back underway. Green, white, checkered, 2 to play. Brian Neff going to get a little help there going down the straightaway, it looked like, from Leclerc. Leclerc thinking about making it 3 wide. He goes to the bottom. Here we go, JR. White flag waves, 1 lap to play.
Oh, and they're wrecked.
Brian Neff goes across Benedict. He goes up and over. He's wrecked. Leclerc carries on out front. Final time through 3 and 4. And the 71 of Fred Leclerc. He's going to bring it home. Who got P2 at the line? Andrew Lewis over Rob Higgins. Boy, oh boy, those two for P2. I mean, they had to get the camera out, JR. That was about as close as it gets. 9 thousandths of a second, I believe.
That was a super tight finish to the race, so it was cool to see that tight of a finish. There was some things that happened. We didn't capture it on camera there, but Ethan Troutman, he was part of that top 5 on the last run there. He comes home in 13th position. A lot of moving around in the corners, beating and banging, and I think ultimately it sent him back. So good race number 1 for him, bad race number 2. So ultimately points I think are kind of equalize in the tonight's races.
We're going to take a short break here on the Virtual Grip Network. We'll be right back with interviews from your top 3 and your final rundown here of your Red Light Racing Twin 50 duels. Stick around on the Virtual Grip Network. We're back live on the Virtual Grip Network. And JR, to say the least, we had some excitement there those final 2 laps. And I think there's going to be some tow truck companies make some good money tonight down here in Florida.
Definitely going to be a lot of drivers trying to figure things out before next week, because this one was a little bit of a rough one. And like I said, after race number 1, race number 2, it mixed up the results as well. So not something we're accustomed to seeing. Some drivers having fantastic finishes here tonight, which is great to see, but not something that we normally see. And a lot of that being produced by that difficult, hard racing that we saw out there.
Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the final results. From what I'm understanding, Fred Leclerc, first win of the season here. Andy Lewis, P2. Rob Higgins rounds out the podium. Eric Stout, P4. Bruce Pearson rounds out the top 5. Brian Bianchi won your first race of the evening. Drives himself up to P6 after that early spin, too. Pretty impressive. Brandon Feeney, 7th. Bradley Stefan, P8. Bill Benedict, 9th, and Jeff Aho rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, coming home in 11th place, race number 2, we got Luke Logan Allen. 12th place is Josh Buckley. Ethan Troutman, we talked about him being in the top 5 on that last restart, fell back and finished in 13th place. Kevin Alicia, he'll come home in 14th. Ken Allen, 15th place tonight. Brian Neff, he's the first car 1 lap down, leading late in that second race. Mike Tashrue, he'll come home in 17th place. Patrick Stout, 18th place. Chad Alcaraz, we saw him do some wall surfing there late in the race. He'll come home in 19th place. And Devin Visnaw, who will round out the top 20 in this field.
Let's go ahead. Let's get that 3rd place finisher up here. Mr. Rob Higgins. Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do. What's going on, guys?
I'll tell you what, man. What were you thinking when that race goes green, white, checkered? Because it was, it seemed like it was mayhem out there, Rob. Every man for himself, brother.
Oh, yeah. This guy get like a good run. You just got to take it. It's just we're on top of each other. It was kind of tough.
Now, Rob, obviously, started 9th here. You had a good, you started. It up P9, I want to say. No, that's P7. P7. It was, yep. Sorry, I was looking at the first one. I was like, wait, you didn't finish second. That had me wrong. But you were one of those cars, you went to the top shelf early, maybe not by choice. You just kind of got shuffled up there. But you think that maybe paid dividends? You looked to have a pretty fast car there at the end, lots of grip though.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to the top, and I was just trying to get back down to the bottom as soon as I can, because I knew I'd burn my tires up if I went up there and stayed up there.
Well, hey, Rob, at the end of the day, man, you end the duels here with the top 3. You got to be feeling pretty good with yourself. So congratulations. You got anybody you want to thank before you get out of here?
Higgins Hill Farm, Checker Flag Auto Supply, you guys for broadcasting, Red Light Racing. Yeah, that's about it. Good points day today, so I'll take it.
That's what it's all about, man. Hell of a run, Rob. Good luck the rest of the way, man.
All right, thank you.
Now my man J.R. Shepard's going to have the man who came home P2.
Absolutely. Hey, Andy, man, congratulations on your best red light racing finish, coming home in 2nd place. Talk us through the action out there. This race number 2, was a little bit crazy. How was it from the driver's seat in that one?
It was really enjoyable. It was a lot of fun. I was having a good time trying to run down the leader there, Neff, and I got a little bit of contact with the 71, and him and I, we both saved it. We both agreed, there's no harm, no foul. I gave him a little bump under the yellow to let him know, but the racing up front was a lot of fun. It was good to kind of flip around and be in the front of the field for once. I always qualify pretty bad, start in the back and then always drive forward. So it was good to get to start out front.
Well, that brings me to my next point, because you talked about that. So you started in the back of the field in race number 1, but what are your thoughts on this 2-race format where you have that invert? Because, like you said, you raced your way into that top 10, and that got you into that position for race number 2.
Yeah, I really like the invert. I'm very new to modifieds. I've been doing iRacing for about a year and a half. I do a lot of oval NASCARs in the next gen, so this car is extremely different to what I'm used to. So getting the new experience is a lot of fun for short tracks, and it makes me really competitive at Bristol and Richmond. But I like this Twin 50 because it gives me a little more time to race with these guys and learn the track, and then I get comfortable as I go and race harder. So this one was definitely an advantage for me tonight.
Absolutely looked like it. Now, I'll get you out of here on this one. Next week, we go back to a little bit of a normal type format. We're going to be doing 100 laps around USA. What are your thoughts going there? Think you're going to have a good run? Is it a little bit of a track you don't have a lot of experience at? I don't know.
A lot of experience, but I do have Bristol circled on the list for upcoming. I see there's a pretty big race coming up there, so I'm looking forward to that one, and I'm really excited for it. So, and I also want to give a shout out to my teammates, Eric and Patrick. They're really awesome, great guys. They've got me into this league, and they teach me a lot. Eric is really smart, and he's gotten his little brother Pat to run extremely fast. So I need to get out there and practice more with those guys that compete.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, congratulations on the P2 run, and maybe we'll get to talk to you next week and moving forward in the final races here.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. You guys do an awesome job with the broadcast as well. It's really fun to look back at it throughout the week.
All right, we appreciate it, man.
Yep.
All right.
Have a good one.
That was Andy Lewis. He's our second place finisher here tonight. Shaggy, who you got?
I'll tell you what, I hope you didn't set the standards bar too high tonight, JR. Because being the new guy here, but I got Fast Freddie Leclerc. First win of the season, brother. How we feeling, man? You had to work for it. I mean, you pushed it 3 wide there with 2 to go. What's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind, I was hoping it would stick because I didn't know if it would on the bottom. If I caught the inside and spun myself early in the race in the first 50, so I didn't know if I was going to do it again, but I was going for the win.
Now, I mean, Andy talked to us about it. No harm, no foul, but saw the contact with you in the 48 earlier. Were you worried? I mean, wasn't too bad of a slide, but, anytime you get this thing a little sideways, you burn a little rubber off. Were you worried about it, or did you know under caution, hey, I can cool them off, they'll come back?
I wasn't worried because where it's only a 50-lap race tonight, I figured I only needed it for a couple laps to make it stick, and I thought it would, and it all worked out. I was glad.
Well, I heard from my partner there, you guys are rolling into the USA International Speedway next week for 100 laps. I mean, can we expect some more P1s out of you? How confident are we of rolling in over there?
I like USA, so I'm hoping another top 5 at least. I struggle there, but I've been a bit better on the bigger tracks this season for some reason, so I'm just glad we're going to another decent-sized track.
But hey, glad I could be up here for your first win, Freddie. Congratulations, man. Great run tonight. You got anybody you want to thank?
I just want to thank everyone that puts this league on. It's a fun time, and it's good to race with all these guys, and I'm sorry about getting into Andy earlier, but I was glad he was able to get a P2 or a P3, whatever he finished. It was fun racing tonight. Everyone had hard racing.
And that's exactly what we expect, man. Short track racing, buckle up tight. You did that, man. You drove it to the front. Congratulations. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you. See you next time.
Fast Freddie Leclerc bringing home the win here at the 5 Flag Speedway. JR, thank you for guiding me through this here tonight, introducing me to everybody. You and Soup, man, you got a pretty good thing going here on Thursday night.
This is an awesome league to be a part of and to be up in the booth watching them each and every week. They put on some exciting racing, and we've had a lot of different winners, which means this league is pretty competitive. I know Eric Stout, he kind of runs away with the points last couple of seasons, but this league is pretty competitive. We see a lot of good, hard racing, and in return, like I said, a lot of different winners throughout the season.
Yeah, good, hard racing, JR, the perfect lead-in, because we've got a lot more of that coming up here on the Virtual Grip Network. You get to listen to me Sunday night at the Darlington Raceway, and I'm telling you, JR, the last time I was at Darlington with those boys, Ryan can whisper it in my ear, but I think it was 230 maybe. I mean, they run half of whatever NASCAR races with 0 cautions. I cannot wait to go back here. I mean, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, Darlington is an awesome racetrack, and if you get a group of guys that can go green flag there, it becomes a lot of fun because of the tire wear and the strategy it takes to keep that car underneath you. So, yeah, definitely one that everybody should try to tune into.
We got JR and I at the South Boston Speedway next Tuesday. A couple guys from this are in there, but USA International Speedway, JR, 100 laps, much different than tonight. You think you got to go in there, a bigger track. Tire wear's got to be on your mind.
Yeah, you're going to carry a lot of corner entry speed. Right front's going to be very important, but if you thought the outside line didn't work in race number 2 here, you need to tune in next week because the outside line is not going to work at all. USA, it is a super line-sensitive track, and if you miss that bottom by inches, it can allow that driver behind you to get a huge run.
Once again, I'd like to give a shout-out to Red Light Racing. Hopefully they don't hate me too bad and don't, want their money back for tonight. Soup will be back next week, but I'd like to thank my partner JR Shepard, our dude in the back Ryan Seneker, and last but not least, we at the Virtual Grip Network want to thank all of you for tuning in. Have a great night.